let's look at buying groups. We talked about the entity where you have a parent-child company where in 99% of the cases, the parent company owns the children companies. Pacific Bell subsidiaries. Office Max subsidiaries and such. However, you also have situations where unrelated companies form a group and then negotiate better pricing. So those are known as buying groups. So a buying group is basically a list of companies that have grouped together to negotiate better pricing. So here I've gone to the More menu in the customer record and said, let's look at buying groups. So this company only belongs to one buying group. Now we can go over here to the CRM menu, Maintenance Utilities, and look at buying groups. We can take a look at the buying groups we have set up. So for example, here's high volume customers. And if we had some set up, they would be in here. Let me see if we have any. We've got one Canadian customer. And the one that we looked at in the customer record test buying group. Okay, this buying group has 6 different companies in it. These companies are not related in a business sense. They just all got together and formed a buying group. This is very common with in the medical industry with doctors, where you'll form a buying group for multiple doctors' offices. It's used in the auto parts industry. It's a pretty common thing where you have multiple companies that group together. Buying groups can also be used if you're setting up certain special pricing arrangements and you want those special pricing arrangements to be valid for a number of companies that don't have any relationship to each other, either ownership or have banded together, but you want to treat them the same. In the case here, this data sample was from HemaQ. They wanted to set up their pricing for all of their Canadian customers, even though the Canadian customers are not related. And that has to do with special pricing. So we'll go into special pricing, which we do by going into the customer record and then looking at special pricing. Here's the special pricing set up for this customer. I can add a special pricing record. I can pick the item and say, okay, this bearing here, it's an active special price. We have a description, what currency we're dealing with, what quantity. The special price the customer gets may be quantity specific. They buy one, they get a certain price. They buy 5, 10, 15. Now the price they get can either be a fixed price or a discount from one of the price levels. You can set a maximum quantity, saying this is the maximum quantity they can buy at this special price. And you can set up a target quantity. And the target quantity is what goal you expect them to reach with this special price. And this tells you how many have been ordered at this special price and how many have been invoiced or shipped at this special price. And then you have valid dates where this special pricing is only valid for orders entered in that date range. An order entered on 12/31 that doesn't ship till January 10th will go out at the special price that it was entered at. Then you can have a contract where this special price is only valid for a certain contract. Now we can go back to the example I gave of JBL, Jet Propulsion, JPL. Jet Propulsion Laboratories, they do contracts with all sorts of companies for research. So you may have negotiated with Boeing to provide product at a certain price and have a contract number, and JPL can buy under that contract because they're doing a project for Boeing. So you would put the contract number in here, and then when JPL placed an order, they would provide the contract number, which would go into the sales order, and then it would come up with this target price. Then you can have special pricing classes. Special pricing classes allow you to group special prices together for various reasons. Then we have a use class discount, and that's really exotic. We'll cover that in a different training session. Same with use price levels and use PQDS, which is price quantity discount system. Real exotic special training. In the special pricing record, you can also identify a rebate. Common in various industries are they give you a rebate for every item you sell. This was very common in the computer monitor industry, where ViewSonics would offer a monitor to one of their distributors. Let me give you a better example. Wareforce sells Microsoft products to large companies like JPL, Pacific Bell, State of California. And the copy of Excel might have a retail price or copy of Office of $500. And Wareforce's price from Microsoft is $200. Now, Microsoft says to Wareforce, every one of these that you sell, we will give you a $20 rebate, which would make their actual price $180. So it turns out they'll sell to the state of California a copy of Office for $195, which is $5 less than the price that they pay for it. But since they get $20 rebate after the fact, they end up making $15 on it. And some of these companies like ICG and Wareforce have one or two full-time employees that do nothing but deal with these rebates. There was a big lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission and the SEC against ViewSonic because ViewSonic was using rebates to inflate their sales. They would sell a monitor to ICG for $200 and offer a $30 rebate so that they could report the sale as $200, and then they would report the $30 rebate as a marketing expense, where in reality they were selling the monitor for $170. And the SEC came down on them pretty hard because it was overinflating their sales, and being a public company, that was not considered good. Cost. This allows you to set a specific cost for this item when you're selling it, usually under a contract. It's similar to rebate, but you can have a situation where ViewSonic sells monitors to ICG, who then sells them to Dell. Well, ViewSonics and Dell have an agreement that they're going to sell the monitor to Dell at a certain price, and that price needs to have a lower cost than ICG normally buys it at. So you set the fixed cost for this item when sold to this customer under this contract number. Then you have instant display. What this flag does is say, if there is a rebate, show the value of the rebate during the target price and order entry. And then force use of this record. This is known as the force flag. What this means is, regardless of if the special pricing system comes up with a lower price, for example, a sale or any other price that's lower than this, don't use that special price. use this contract price because we've negotiated this price with the customer regardless of what other pricing we advertise for sales or promos. And this usually has to do if the product has any modifications, special shipping, special installation, where the price includes things that you don't want to discount. Then on the bottom, you have some catalog information. This is out of the catalog for this item, and room for a comment for this special price.